Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day, which tonight brings you two matches from coast to coast, as you might say. From the Channel, Southampton against Norwich City.
Well played by Jordan, and Agboola coming effectively out of defence, and there's Curtis.
And from the Humber, Hull City against Preston North End.
Good play by Houghton, showing good turn of speed. And Mike Farrelly hit the post.
Tonight's headlines as Arsenal go down at Ipswich, their North London rival Spurs replace them on top of Division 1 after a 5-0 thrashing of Queen's Park Rangers. Manchester United score 3 at Coventry to go second, but it's all very crowded up there with 7 teams sharing the lead on 10 points. Birmingham in Division 2 and Hereford and Chesterfield in Division 4 remain the league's only 100% clubs.
We start with the First Division match in which Southampton, runners-up last season, try again to achieve that elusive first victory. To do that, they must overcome Norwich City, and particularly one of their most consistent performers, the tale told by John Motson.
Chris Woods hurt his knee training with England on Wednesday, but his recovery means he still hasn't missed a match since joining Norwich 3.5 years ago. This is his 141st consecutive league game, quite a change from the days when Woods used to understudy Peter Shilton at Nottingham Forest. The England goalkeeper celebrates his 35th birthday next Tuesday and makes the 685th league appearance of his career this afternoon. The Southampton team news shows that Nick Holmes makes his first league appearance of the season after a shin injury, and with Danny Wallace reporting fit after a thigh strain and Alan Curtis keeping his place, the man left out is Steve Moran, last season's top scorer. An Achilles injury prevents the former Southampton favourite Mike Shannon playing against his old club, so there are 2 teenagers in the Norwich attack, 17-year-old Dale Gordon at number 7 and 19-year-old Mark Farrington at number 8. Together with Keith Birchin, who's been on a week-to-week contract and is being strongly linked with Portsmouth, who are watching him today. The referee this afternoon is Roger Milford from Bristol. Laurie McMenemy, now the longest-serving Football League manager with one club. He's in his 12th season at the Dell. So Southampton looking for their first win of the season, just 4 days before they face Hamburg in the UEFA Cup. Playing from right to left against a Norwich City side for whom Dave Watson goes across there. Norwich, who haven't won away from home since last December. Free kick given. Wallace was fouled by Devine. Wallace starting off on the right there. Southampton have Joe Jordan and Mark Wright waiting. And Jordan climbed and scored! What a start for Southampton, and what a start for Joe Jordan since coming here from Verona. That's his 3rd goal already this season. And a tremendous start here for Southampton. Mick Mills curled the free kick in. Jordan rose typically and powerfully at the far post. Woods got a hand to it, couldn't save it. And we timed that at 42 seconds. Up goes Curtis. So Norwich rattled in Southampton's first attack. What a good goal by Joe Jordan. There's Williams. Bruce, Birchin, Dean, Van Wyk, Devine. Oh, given away by Dean to Curtis, and there are 2 others up. One of them is Wallace, taking on Watson now, and beating him. Oh, well, that, I think it was meant as a shot by Danny Wallace. It was nearly, in the end, a cross for Joe Jordan. It's a misplaced pass by John Dean that was nearly the undoing of Norwich there. Mills. Wallace. Holmes. Here's Agbula. Saw his chance to come through there. Mills. Dennis, the two fullbacks combining. And Wallace closed in. Lively stuff from Southampton, this. Wright has now made his way forward to join Curtis on the near side. That's Wright jumping now. It's his pass to Dennis. There's Wallace. Didn't run for him. Mendham got the ball away as far as Williams, who'll retrieve it here, or would have done had he not been fouled by Dean. Well, a free kick on that side of the field brought Southampton that early goal. Now they have another one. Williams up for Jordan. Whistle's already gone. And finally Holmes, but not very convincingly, Van Wyk. Well played by Jordan, and Agbula coming effectively out of defence, and there's Curtis. So close to a personal landmark. It was Agbula who made the play, but Alan Curtis needs just one goal for his 100 in league football. And for a man on 99, he won't come very much closer than that until he actually completes the century. Well set up and not far away. Foot up. And here's Mick Mills. Wallace on the right wing. Steve Williams has pushed well forward here. There he is. Sort of bold first half performance Southampton were looking for after their string of poor results. But they would be happier if they could put the second goal to the one that they scored so early. Forward by Devine. Here's Birchin from a header by Holmes. This is Haylock. David Armstrong. Oh, and Farrington here. And Birchin and Dean in each other's way. Well, a mistake by Mark Dennis, allowing Farrington in, and Southampton there was stretched. And if Dean and Birchin could have made up their minds, one of them could easily have equalised. Here's Williams. Armstrong. All the supports the other way at the moment. Three of them, in fact. Well found. Wallace. Good stuff from Wallace. Deflection. Curtis! Oh, fine defending by Bruce. Terrific clearance, because in by Wallace, the touch by Curtis, and as Jordan went in for the kill, a fine interception by Steve Bruce. Wallace the provider, as he is again here. Armstrong into Curtis. That's a good turn too, and a good effort. Well, Alan Curtis whose skills were always admired at Swansea in his 2 spells there, now preferred in the Southampton attack this afternoon to Steve Moran, and on the first half performance, that's a good decision on current form, because Curtis is unlucky not to have scored his 100th goal. And Agbula fell there. It was Dean's header. Birchin is up. Dean again, all rather untidy from a Southampton point of view, largely because Agbula lost his footing. A corner to Norwich right at the end of the first half. Here's Haylock. That's all. Oh, what a good save by Shilton. Well, Bruce has caused trouble on these set plays. Farrington was in there as well. That was a good effort at the end of the half. And Norwich unlucky, because they actually got free from that corner. And Southampton relieved, despite having by far the better of the first half, to go off in front. Alan Curtis has played his part, and the only goal came from Joe Jordan in the very first minute. Norwich's problem last season was lack of goals away from home as much as anything else. Only 14 in the First Division, and they'll need at least 1 today to get anything out of this match. Ken Brown only too aware of that, the Norwich manager, as he takes his seat. And there's a free kick there against Bruce on Jordan. And this was how the first half started. A free kick to Southampton, it produced a goal. So the signal for Jordan to take up that familiar threatening position on the far side of the area with Wright. Warren McMenemy looking to see who's going to take this. It's going to be Armstrong to curl it! And very close to number 2. And no wonder the manager smiles. How close was it? About that far, he said. Foul. Williams on Dean. I could shove the other way there, actually, but the corner has been awarded. The photographer took a tumble in the middle of all that. And Gordon has gone across. And Peter Shilton very confident there, and he sees Wallace 1 against 1 here with Haylock. Well worth the attempt by Shilton to put Wallace away there. And it made Norwich panic. And it was quick thinking by the England goalkeeper. So David Puckett on to replace the injured David Armstrong. Williams. Holmes has had the better of Farrington for the most part. Here comes Dennis. Jordan. It was a good turn, and Puckett's on his way, but didn't get hold of the shot at all. Good service from Joe Jordan. And Puckett, perhaps slightly off balance when he hit it. A lot of shouting from the benches beneath me, but at the moment, not too much goalmouth incident. So here come Norwich with John Devine. Farrington wants it played in the inside left channel, but it's much too long. And on by Curtis, and here's Jordan. And Curtis once more. He went for the chip. And he's got the technique to pull that sort of thing off, Alan Curtis. He just sensed that Woods was off the line and went for what would have been a spectacular goal. The service, the provider, again, number 9, Jordan. Wallace. He's away from Devine. Oh, it's an own goal! Dave Watson, I think. It's an own goal by Dave Watson of Norwich in England. Well, Wallace skinned Devine. Curtis was hoping for his 100th there without a doubt, but Watson put it in like a bullet. So Norwich City having a habit of these. Bruce put one in against Liverpool on the opening day of the season at Carrow Road, and here today, after 66 minutes, Dave Watson has put Southampton inadvertently into a 2-goal lead. Well, it's unlucky for the big defender. He had to do something about the cross, but if Curtis himself had got the touch, it couldn't have been a more emphatic header. And Norwich make a substitution. Louis Donowa has come on. And Van Wyk has gone to left back. And John Devine has gone off. Jordan, Williams, and the match is in a bit of a rut again now after the second goal. That's Puckett, and this is Curtis, now Jordan. Mark Dennis has moved up from left back on the far side. That's his cross, and Curtis is underneath it, so is Bruce. Curtis comes to meet it, but here's Dean. Well, Wallace and Mills in each other's way. 15 minutes left. Southampton lead by 2-0. It should be enough, provided they don't lose their way completely. Because Norwich have found chances hard to make here today. Haylock's now coming forward, bustled by Jordan. But here's a chance for Donowa. Oh, brilliantly taken. Beautiful shot by the substitute. Louis Donowa only came on about 3 minutes ago, and he saw his chance there to get into the game for the first time, hit it beautifully, and it beat Shilton from a long way out, and that doesn't happen all that often. He's a little bit disappointed. 76 minutes gone, and Norwich are back in the match. And Southampton are partially paying the penalty for not making the territorial advantage tell earlier. There's an offside there. So the appearance of Donowa has at least given Norwich some opportunism, which they lacked before. Really well struck that. And forward by Dennis. Well, if Southampton are going to get that first win, they're now going to have to do it the hard way. Norwich are playing with a great deal more assurance since they scored. Watson. Dean. Watson again. I think the disappearance of Armstrong has rather jilted Southampton's formation. Here's Wallace. He was an integral part of the team, the way they were playing, and since he went off, Southampton haven't looked quite such a good unit. Mendham for Norwich. That was Agbula. And here's Donowa. Oh! Well, he's capable of the unexpected, as Shilton, I'm sure, would endorse. And Donowa's appearance here has turned the match completely for the time being, put a totally different complexion on things. Some pushing and shoving. I suppose you could call it an inspired substitution. Joe Jordan underneath this, but by his standards that was a poor touch. Wallace managed to get his foot to it. Birchin. Now, one or two of our viewers wonder why matches go on beyond the 45 minutes after the apparent dispute at Arsenal last week. The answer is that referees stop their watch when they think players are wasting time retrieving the ball between play when the ball's gone out for a goal kick or a throw-in, and that's what's happening all over the league at the moment. Referees quite within their rights. Same for both sides. No good anybody complaining. The playing public are entitled to 45 minutes football in each half. Holmes. Curtis. Wallace. And Puckett's in there. Back heel, couldn't find Curtis. It's going to come instead to Mills. And Holmes did well there. Curtis is up there, and he just can't seem to get from Holmes' cross. Curtis just can't seem to get the goal he so badly wants. He's been so close today. Good move that by Southampton right at the end. So Southampton overcome the psychological barrier. They've got their first win. But Donowa's goal when he came on as sub certainly put a different edge on the match in the closing period. Dave Watson, with an unfortunate own goal, had by then put it rather beyond Norwich's reach. Southampton and their manager may feel that the first half performance was stylish, the second half stuttering, and they'll be concerned about David Armstrong's fitness for the UEFA Cup match against Hamburg on Wednesday. For the moment, they win 2-1.
And that win lifts Southampton from that undignified position at the bottom of the table, illustrating once again the fierceness of the competition in the Canon League, and that it's far easier to fall from the top than it is to climb there. Norwich, as always, competed well without much luck.
It's got to be tonight, right? It's got to be tonight.
Did you know that thousands of men are impotent because they smoked? Probably not, because they don't like to talk about it. Every cigarette you smoke causes fatty deposits that restrict the flow of blood to your penis. And this damage is happening right now. For help and advice on giving up, call 0800 169 0169.
In 2005,
and the award goes to...
they conquered Broadway.
The History Boys.
The History Boys.
The History Boys.
Who else knows about this? Now, They're coming to the big screen.
Really?
The History Boys.
The city has two suns.
My family's lived on this hill forever. This is my home.
Only one can rule.
I grew up on this hill. These are my people.
You can be completely undone by your brother.
He's a plague, Tommy, and we gotta take care of it before it kills us all.
He's my brother.
This is my neighborhood, and it always will be.
You and I, we're not the same in any way.
Brotherhood, the brand new series, starts next week only on FX.
Thank you for coming.
Nice view.
So what can I do for you?
I need you to find these designers.
Just one question. Why?
Because I've got nothing to wear.
Track down the designers at Debenhams this autumn.
And the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. Put a tingle in your fingers and a tingle in your feet. Rhythm in your bedroom, rhythm in the street. Yes, the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. Flip your wings and fly to your daddy. Take a dive and swim to your daddy. It's a glory from you, daddy. Baby's got the rhythm of life.
Knowing what keeps a plane in the air ensures our cars stay glued to the road. The Saab 9.3 Sport Wagon. Saab, move your mind.
Well, now for our visit to the third division and Hull City, who missed promotion last time round by just one goal. They've restoked their engines and taken on a new driver, but their opponents, Preston North End, have made a sound start to the campaign. Your commentator, Barry Davies.
Is a man whose league career was so much about captaining sides to promotion, the answer to Hull's desire for better things. Well, that surely is the hope of the Hull City supporters. And the bright start made by the team, now managed by Brian Horton, gives good reason for optimism. 7 goals in their 2 home matches, yet to concede a goal in the league, and unbeaten in League and Milk Cup. Their side today does not include Brian Horton, who has something of a groin strain, but back comes the captain, Gareth Roberts, and the side also includes at number 8, Mike Ring, a player that Horton remembered well from his days at Brighton. Save for a defeat against Bristol Rovers away at Eastville. Preston also have made a good start to the season. Their side, a mixture of youth and experience. No one more experienced than the captain, Tommy Booth, who played for Manchester City back in 1969 in the FA Cup final. And their least experienced player at number 7, Andy Murphy, who is one of the youngsters to come through successfully from the government's youth scheme. Well, that seems a far cry from the days of the cloth cap. The referee this afternoon is Mr. Howard Taylor of Oadby in Leicestershire. It's Preston's kick-off, playing this afternoon in all white. On the pitch, which really asks for good football to be played upon it. Dale Rudds with the throw. Preston picked up without paying a cent from Wolves. First touch for the young Murphy. Hardly a breath of wind. Houston's cross, and the shot came from Peter Houghton. Dale Rudge making his presence felt down the left side. Whitehurst. Good play by Houghton, showing good turn of speed. And Mike Farrelly hit the post. Ball really struck very, very well. Good pace by Houghton, and it was a good cross too. And Farrelly came up, hit it very true, and it smacked back off the post. Whitehurst down the middle. Massey to his left. Good flick on. This is Ring. Tarrant. Askew wants it on his left side, and they've been pulled across a little bit, Preston. Tarrant. The right position, but the ball didn't come down kindly to him from Massey. Well, it's a busy opening on a pitch which has got a little bit slippery from some rain. And the players doing their best to brighten a very grey afternoon in Yorkshire. It's a corner. Pearson, Askew. Well spotted by Roberts. Both of them. Gareth to Dale. Woody Norton. Robbed by Gareth Roberts, and that's a fine try. The goalkeeper a little surprised that Whitehurst was able to get his foot round and get the shot in, deflected off the centre half. Askew. By the goalkeeper at the second attempt. Tremendous drive from Steve McLaren. And Litchfield, who was forward on his 6-yard line, found it singing his fingertips, but he was able to grab it at the second time. And we're 10 minutes away from half-time, and the score is precisely that of this match on the equivalent Saturday last season, which ended at 0-0. That match played at Deepdale. Hull won the return fixture 3-0 in April. Good try by Clark, and the goalkeeper totally deceived by it. Well, he obviously did not see it. Tony Norman. Ball coming very deep to Jonathan Clark, who just thumped it past a totally bemused goalkeeper. So the deadlock is broken at the 36th minute, with Clark's first goal of the season, and the first past Tony Norman in league football this season. Reason for Alan Kelly in the suit there to be happy. for the challenge on the goalkeeper. How much it was it that the goalkeeper had to try and get round Peter Skipper, who was standing in front of him? Do you think goalkeepers are overprotected in football these days? So we arrive at half-time with the feelings of two players in particular in sharp contrast. The scorer, Jonathan Clark, and the man whom he beat, Tony Norman. First goal he's considered in league football this season, and he just did not see the shot that went past him. It gives Preston a one-goal lead at half-time. Well, Hull City give a great deal of thought to entertaining their spectators and show a lot of original ideas, including those of the chairman, who invite spectators into the boardroom before the match. And this really is a ground worthy of football at a higher level. And one has to remember that last season they failed to get promotion to the second division by precisely one goal. And the Tigers, as the home team are known, are down by one goal as they start the second half. Now attacking the goal to our right. Preston, once known as the Invincibles, side that set the original standards, winning the first league championship and the first FA Cup. And I suppose in those days challenges like that would have been frowned upon. We're talking about 1888-89. Claren and McEwen on the ball. Skipper looking, so was the other skipper, Tommy Booth. Askew, it's all a little bit tight. Comes out to Whitehurst, who, when he wanted his best shot of the match, palpably failed to find it. Skipper. McLaren. Good contrast between McLaren and Askew. McLaren's so leggy. Here's Messi. It's a good turn. That will be a penalty. Foul by Twentyman on Messi. And there was no choice for the referee, who, it should be said, was quite superbly placed. As Messi turned and went away from Twentyman. Twentyman thought there was still time for the tackle, but there wasn't. And here's McEwen from the penalty spot, and it's 1-1. So from Hull's point of view, as the home side, half the job is done, but there's still much more to do, as the manager, the coach and the assistant manager are all making absolutely clear. Whitehurst, Messi going on. Oof, dear. I think that was a little bit wild, but it made contact with nothing other than there. Norton. It will be interesting to see what effect that goal has on the composure of Preston. It is nothing if not a try, Steve Massey. Murphy deep in defence. Askew. Pearson setting his sights. And he was aiming for the corner flag. Askew. Whitehurst. Sudden wave of optimism is engulfing Boothbury Road. Boothbury Park, I beg its pardon. Gobelin. He's done well. Massey. I think what he was the wrong way around then, coming in from the wrong side. Askew. Clark. Askew has stayed down. There's Mike Farrelly. Oh, that's a beautifully hit shot. Quite superb goal by Mark Jones. Magnificent goal. Tony Norman certainly had not an earthly on that one. That's as good a reply as Preston could have wished for. Celebrations are going on now, those who travelled up from Preston. And the substitution for Hull City will now be made. Andy Flounders coming on in place of Mike Ring.
Once again, the calendar after 69 minutes, 29 seconds.
10 minutes left for Hull to save their unbeaten record. Askew, McLaren. Massey, Whitehurst. Well, it was a fine opportunity which wasn't taken. One clear chance in each half. He's been unable to bury either and add to his tally of the season, which stands at 3. Rudge. Flanders. Roberts has gone on. Every other player left of Flanders. Whitehurst. So many Hull players asking for the ball. And the corner taking the match into its last minute. Follows. Booth thought there was some pushing. Askew across to take it. The referee has one look at the watch. And Litchfield seems to have a problem. That won't do it much help either. Another chance to cross it. Be another corner. It's a department which Hull have clearly won, forcing a number of corners, but they haven't been able to make them count. And Preston take the 3 points. 2 fine strikes, one by Clark and the other by Jones, being too much for Hull City, who scored from the penalty spot through Stan McEwen. So Preston go away with the points, and Mark Jones in particular will remember the match, as that was his first goal in league football.
Well, the match won by 2 splendid shots, it's true, but North End's keeper Peter Litchfield, in absorbing Hull's pressure, was by no means overshadowed by other illustrious keepers appearing elsewhere in the programme. And for those who like an argument, just consider the issues surrounding Preston's opening goal. As the corner's taken, you can see the linesman in the customary position. And as Clark shoots, it soon becomes evident that 2 Preston players are in an offside position and probably unsight keeper Tony Norman. The referee was perfectly placed and close to the action and awarded a goal despite the fact that the linesman was waving for offside. The referee, however, has the final say as to whether those 2 players were interfering with play, which they probably were, but also whether they were seeking to gain an advantage, which they weren't, because they were running back trying to get onside. That interpretation of the law could well change the shape of the game for the better, make offside traps obsolete and cheer us all up. But the interpretation must be consistent so that players know exactly where they stand. Bob.
Well, for the 3rd week running, there are new leaders in Division 1. Tonight, Spurs are top for the first time in 20 years, March 1964, thanks to the 5 goals they crashed past Queen's Park Rangers at White Hart Lane. The number of goals there was important because in the traffic jam situation at the top of the First Division, 7 clubs share the lead on 10 points, and in fact just 2 points cover the top 14. The 2 leaders have the same goal difference, and Spurs go in front only because they've scored 15 goals to Manchester United's 11. It's that close, and there could even be new leaders again tomorrow if 8th place Nottingham Forest beat Luton in their Sunday crowd experiment. The crowds weren't brilliant today, but they got full value for money in terms of goals. 38 in 10 First Division games, the best this season. Spurs led the way with 5. Clive Allen scoring twice against his old club Rangers. Mark Falco also got 2. Mike Hazard scored the other 1. Rangers manager Alan Mullery said, "No complaints, we were taken to the cleaners. Last week we were brilliant against Forest. Today, with exactly the same players, we were sluggish and deserved to lose heavily." Norman Whiteside, a World Cup hero for Northern Ireland in midweek, got 2 of the goals in Manchester United's 3-0 win at Coventry. England skipper Brian Robson scored the first. Coventry played most of the match with 10 men, Brian Kilcline having been sent off midway through the first half. Champions Liverpool slipped up again at home. They led for most of the match against Sunderland with a goal by Paul Walsh, but then substitute Roger Wilde popped up with a late equaliser. Liverpool were without Mark Lawrenson for the second half. He complained of feeling unwell and is doubtful for Wednesday's European Cup tie in Poland against Lech Poznan. Southampton's David Armstrong, who we saw limp off against Norwich, is also doubtful for the UEFA Cup match against Hamburg. He's to have an X-ray on a suspected broken toe. Another team in Europe, Cup winners Everton, had a morale-boosting 3-2 victory at Newcastle thanks to Andy Gray's last-minute header. Newcastle manager Jack Charlton went into the crowd following that goal to take issue with a Newcastle fan. Apparently he was upset that players had been spat upon as they left the field, but Jack was anxious to play the incident down, saying, "I don't want to talk about it. I went into the crowd to see a friend." Nothing too friendly about Ipswich's approach to their old boys, Paul Mariner and Brian Talbot. Ipswich beat this morning's leaders Arsenal 2-1, their first win of the season. That leaves Watford as the only First Division club without a victory. They twice led Aston Villa, but had to settle for a 3-3 draw, although Watford manager Graham Taylor was convinced Villa's second goal by Peter Withe should have been disallowed for a foul on keeper Steve Sherwood. The games between Stoke and Leicester and West Bromwich Albion and Sheffield Wednesday were also drawn 2-2, the scores there. That just leaves Chelsea. They beat West Ham 3-0 after a strange opening goal by Colin Lee. He scored on the rebounds of a twice-taken penalty, and the second time the ref allowed the goal to stand. Birmingham kept their 100% record by beating Carlisle 2-0 and now have a 3-point lead over Brighton and Leeds United in Division 2. Preston's 2-1 win at Hull lifted them to 5th place in Division 3, a point behind Gillingham, York City and Bristol Rovers. In Division 4, Hereford and Chesterfield both won today to keep their 100% records.
Well, that's all for tonight. Match of the day next week at 10:35 with 2 matches to set your pulses racing. They'll have to go some to equal the quality of shooting we've seen tonight, which will certainly add lustre to the September Goal of the Month competition. Donawa's goal, it's true, earned glory, but no points for Norwich, whereas the Preston brace gained the points and the club's first victory at Boothbury Park since 1934. That's just 50 years ago. Good night.
Haylock's now coming forward, bustled by Jordan. But here's a chance for Donawa. Oh, brilliantly taken. Beautiful shot by the substitute.
Good try by Clark, and the goalkeeper totally deceived by it. It's Mike Farrelly. Oh, that's a beautifully hit shot. Quite superb goal by Mark Jones.